our mission, as north as it goes, is it doesn't go to the top of Iowa, but Fort Dodge, that's up there. And then it goes south into the tip of Missouri, and then east into Illinois. And so we have the Nauvoo Temple is the only temple that's actually in our mission. Winter quarters is outside a little bit. So we have the Carthage historic sites and the Nauvoo historic sites. And then there's the Mormon Trail in Iowa City. So I was expecting to go to just white farmers, and little did I know I would be teaching Africans, I'd be teaching Asians. We taught a lot of Chinese exchange students and people going to the universities there. I did serve in 2 university cities, Iowa City and Ames, and so that brought in a lot of different cultures. And so, no, it's not just the white farmers, and it was really awesome to have that experience to teach them. So the summers are really hot and humid, and the winters are very cold. So I got out there in the beginning of March, and it was really mild, nice, beautiful weather. It snowed a few times in March, which was strange. But when it hit summer, I remember walking outside one day and just being hit with this wave of incredible humidity. It's like, I don't think I can walk anymore. I'm not used to this. So it was really hot. And then my first winter there, I remember getting into the car a few times and saying -20 degrees. And for a good month or so, I think every day was below -0. It was probably between -0 and -15. And at some of those weeks, we were in a car share, so we had to walk or find rides from members. And it was fun. I don't even know how I survived the winters now, looking back on it. It was so cold. Got a big coat while I was out there, but it was fun. Because there are a lot of farms there, there are towns and cities that are miles away from each other. So a lot of the missionaries on our mission would live in a certain town, but their area would cover a lot with outside of the small town. So that was kind of hard. If you didn't have a car, you would try your best to get to those outlying cities. But it's beautiful, rolling hills along the way. I was along the Mississippi River for more than half of my mission, and that was just gorgeous. So climate-wise, geography-wise, everything is just beautiful there. But if you're going to be a missionary in those cities, just prepare that you might not have all the resources right where you're at. So most of us are English speaking, but there was also a lot of Spanish speaking missionaries, hermanas and hermanos, and elders. I don't even know the Spanish word for that. And there were Marshallese speaking missionaries as well. And I think that's mostly it. So Spanish, Marshallese, and English. Yeah, there are a few cities within Iowa that had just people there. So I don't think it was dispersed like everywhere, but there were just a few little places where they would gather, and then the missionaries would be very successful in those areas. I think most missionaries do live with members, but then also there are a lot who have their own apartments. Because of this new wave coming in of missionaries at that time period, I don't think they had a lot of housing, and so members were just asked to take in the missionaries. And so that was the case for a lot of the areas that missionaries were entering in, such as Keokuk was one of them. So I'm a little different because I'm gluten intolerant. So every meal that the members would make for us, we would kind of let them know, hey, I'm gluten intolerant. So most of them were okay with that because the typical Iowa meal, I feel like, was corn, green beans, pork chop, and that was all gluten-free. So I had that a lot of times. We would have good chilies. Iowans love their chilies, I feel like, and they were delicious. And then aside from just the normal white Iowan meals, there was the African meals. We had the Chinese ones, so that was different than what I expected, but still good food. Kept us going. So there is the Nauvoo Visitors Center Mission. I think that's what it's called, just the Nauvoo Mission. That's a bunch of sisters who work in the historical sites, give tours. We were actually proselyting missionaries because we were in the Iowa Des Moines mission. So I had the unique experience to actually go and proselyte around those areas. It was cool because I could also use those as resources. We could take our investigators to the sites, but we were also going around knocking doors, just talking to people. So it was just a different approach, us going to people rather than they just coming to us in the visitor center.